Audio Mathies, welcome to the Players Perspective Uncensored podcast. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me, Larry. Thank you.
You got to speak up for me a little bit.
Okay, I said thank you for having me, Larry. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Got you. Now let me start you off by asking you this. Have you ever tried bourbon? You know, in Kentucky, bourbon is a big thing for us Kentuckians. Have you ever tried bourbon? If so, what's your favorite or what's one of your go-tos?
I definitely have tried bourbon. I don't think there's any way around it. If you are from Kentucky, you have to try at least once. But I don't have a preference. I don't pick it up if I ever go out and want to get a drink. But if someone offers it, I definitely will engage in a bourbon. But the ones I like so far, I like Woodford. That was pretty great. Makers was cool. We were drinking Bullet for a while. Um, and I also like Weller's. Weller's was pretty cool. So
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
that was
you know what you're
good.
talking about. Yeah, that Weller's is something special. All of them, I like all of them that you name, but Weller's is one that really sticks out. So let's go ahead and dive into the podcast a little bit. Growing up, who was somebody that inspired you or somebody that you might have wanted to model your game after? Because I know you come from a basketball family, but who was somebody that inspired you or that you wanted to imitate when you were playing basketball?
Oh, so I think of as a kid, just watching the WNBA, I really liked the game of Cynthia Cooper. She was a guard and just her handle. The thing I liked about her was the WNBA seemed very, mechanical and fundamental, but then you have certain players that kind of you see how you grew up hooping. And she was one of those players for me, so I definitely love seeing her. But also, you wouldn't even know, but watching my brother and you play together, I really like some of the moves that you did. All them games that I watched of you, and I emulated one that you did a lot when I was in college when I first got there. So watching you and my brother play and how special Mel was back in the day, and Mel and Ballard, that rivalry was something special. And so a lot of you all definitely impacted me in the way that I play. So
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Now, speaking of your brother, now you come from a big basketball family. Your dad played basketball. You and your sister played basketball. Your older brother played basketball. I played with him at Male. He went on to play at Creighton, played professionally a few years. Did you feel any pressure when you were coming up to follow in the footsteps of the family tradition of playing basketball?
um, I don't think I felt pressure, but it was just kind of the way of life. When it's the focus and it's something that my dad could pass on to us, it's something he knew and he understood that he can give to us to, figure out our way through life. Um, it was definitely that type of environment, but I don't think it was any pressure. We definitely enjoyed playing the game. And I also had my sister there with me the whole time. So just knowing that I have another person that's going to be on the journey the whole way with me, I never felt anything that I had to do extra. I never felt that I had to achieve anything extra. And so it was just a special ride to be on and be a part of.
Now, you were a special young talent. You went to Iroquois High School, but you started varsity as a sixth grader. Your sister was there with you. She didn't start, but she played. You went on to have a stellar career. You won the all-time leading scorers in Iroquois history. You won the all-time leading scorers for women in Jefferson County. And you took Miss Basketball. You won a state championship. When you look back at your high school career, how does that make you feel when you look back and see some of the accolades and some of the accomplishments and having such a rare career and one of the best ones for basketball players coming out of the state of Kentucky? How does that make you feel?
Yeah. I don't think words can really express um, how jubilant I am when I think about those memories. Just because, um, if you know the structure of Louisville as far as schools, people are not trying to go to Iroquois. They're not applying there. You know, what I'm saying it's one of the schools that's the makeup is just more poor, not many opportunities, not many resources, and so to achieve what we achieved at Iroquois. Um, I can't even put it into words. Where we wasn't expected to win, it just happened that some group of kids from the South found each other and found their way to Southern Middle School, and then ended up playing at Southern at Iroquois High School and staying together for a while to allow those things to come to fruition. So I don't know how to express it into words. Butler, we know Butler is going to be there. We know the Mills and the Manuels and the Ballards are always going to be prominent just because of how Louisville was made up. But to bring that to Iroquois was special, and I'm just thankful to be a part of it. And I'm glad that I could bring that happiness to a lot of my teammates to be a part of that as well.
It really was, and it really speaks to the talent and the leadership and the ability that you had. Because, like you said, if you're not from Louisville, you don't really know because your Male, your Ballards, your Sacred Hearts, your
Yep,
Assumptions, your Presentations, some of your all-girls Catholic schools have really been powerhouses, and nobody really thinks of Iroquois, and for you guys to really be that dark horse and sort of take over and dominate for those years that you were there really speaks volumes to what you guys accomplished. And shout out to the legendary Kim Hampton, too, another Iroquois alumni who
definitely.
helped pave the way for some of you young ladies. Now,
Yes.
once you took Miss Basketball, you could have went basically anywhere that you wanted in the United States as far as going to play basketball at the next level. What made you choose the University of Kentucky?
Well, as far as the recruiting, I guess game, I wasn't really active in it. I saw those questionnaires I never filled out, and some phone calls I never really participated in. But the three schools that really was pressing for me for a long time, even when I was in middle school, was U of L, of course, UK, and Florida, the University of Florida. So those were my three choices that if I was going to choose, it was going to be between one of those three. But when it's hard to explain because when you're from Louisville, it's so homegrown, and you depend on your family a lot for a lot of your decisions and what you want to do. And so I knew that I wasn't ready and prepared to go to Florida to play basketball at 18. I just wasn't.
Right.
I never been away from home much, and so that wasn't an option. But I also didn't really care to stay in Louisville because what is going to be. And in hindsight, looking back at my decision, I'm thankful because it allowed me to step out of my comfort zone when I turned 18 to meet new people, to then start using my voice a little bit more and get a different perspective. So although UK was on my list for, a lot of my dad really wanted me to go there. My uncle really wanted me to go there, who was very influential in my decision. But just to be able to get away, but to also be close enough to where I could have that family support, but not be in the trenches of what Louisville can be and what it's been for a lot of people. So,
Right. Now, if you didn't go to UK, where do you think you would have went to?
oh, Uh, that's tough. I think I honestly would have sucked it up and went to Florida. And the beauty of Florida was I got to play against Florida for 4 years, being in the SEC. So I would have kind of seen what my teammates who they would have been if I was there. And wow, like those girls from the University of Florida were some cool women that I didn't get to spend a lot of my time with, but to be able to see how they interact with each other, the coaching that they received, the environment that they was in, and the way they just embraced each other in their experiences. So I really really love Florida as well. U of L was definitely an option. I just did not want to stay here for that period of college, just staying at home and family and everything else. Although additionally, following up Angel McCautry is going to be a
It would have been big shoes to fill.
definitely. But yeah, I think about it. Think about all those a lot, but I'm definitely happy with my decision and where it's led to me at this point in my moment in my life.
Now, you had a Hall of Fame career up at Kentucky. Now, what were some of your best memories while you had a UK uniform on?
Oh, with the uniform on. I thought he was going to say UK. But
Oh,
no,
you could speak on and off the court too, but just some of your best memories while you were at the University of Kentucky.
definitely the memories that stick the most is the ones that show my teammates. I was so fortunate to have teammates from everywhere across the United States. Literally, I had teammates from LA, the Bay Area, from Memphis to Dallas to New York to Jersey to Chicago to Florida. My teammates was from everywhere. So to get those experiences and experience their culture, how they talk, or how they interact, that was a good moment for me. And to also do that out of my comfort zone for being away from home allowed me to grow and show them and a lot of people what Louisville culture was.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that, but I was, talking to Rebecca Lobo about the shiz on ESPN back when I was really, had my teammates doing the OG Shannon at Midnight Madness. So it was to be able to share those moments with them was special. To give a piece of me to them and to take a piece of them with me and the way I live out my life. And those were the best moments for sure. As far as the game, we kind of all like the same game of mine was the Tennessee game, which was so special to beat Pat Summitt, the Pat Summitt, in my junior year. The first time I beat him, because I lost against him 3, 4, 5 times my first 2 years, and to come back and beat him and score my career high and hit the game-winning shot and take down the number 16, it was just an amazing game and time.
I remember that too.
Moment in time, and so that definitely was my greatest moment as far as basketball game at UK.
Now, you were a 2-time All-American, 2-time SEC Player of the Year. You're the all-time leader in steals, all-time leader in games played. You're second in all-time in scoring and three-point makes. You're the only player in UK history, men and women, to have 2,000 points, 600 rebounds, 300 assists, 300 steals. 2019, you were inducted to the UK Athletic Hall of Fame. When you were coming out of Iroquois High School, could you say that you expected all of that?
I didn't. I honestly had no expectations. I didn't know what to expect going into college. I didn't have anyone to really talk to me about what it was going to be like going and playing for, a SEC team, or I know what the SEC really was as far as conferences. No, I didn't get the magnitude of what it meant until I was in it. And so I never would have imagined it. But I'm thankful that was my journey, because at the end of the day, it led me to the Hall of Fame for them, and it led me to this moment in time to where I'm able to speak on it to you and to hopefully a wide range of people on one day about how that journey impacted my life and how it's going to continue shaping the future for me and for what I wanted to be and do for the rest of my days.
Man, kudos. Just got to give you your flowers now, man. So many people try to wait till later on. Just got to give you your flowers now, man, because that is an impeccable career. Like that's accolades for like 2 and 3 people, let alone for one person to accomplish all of that in 4 years, man. So kudos and hats off to that. So once you finished your career, 2013, you're about ready to embark on a professional journey. You go into the WNBA, you're the 10th overall pick to the LA Sparks. What's going through your mind when you get drafted by the LA Sparks, 10th overall?
Oh, it's amazing how when you think about it, you can't explain most of the best moments that happens in your life. You can't put it into words. It's the feeling of the moment. And just to know that, I was getting drafted, and not only was I getting drafted, I was getting drafted to probably the one team that everyone who follows basketball knows of. We all know about the LA Sparks. We know about Lisa Leslie. We know about Candace Parker and these prominent women. And so to get drafted to LA, to switch coasts, and then also have my brother out there, it was an amazing moment to get drafted to the team in which my own brother, my only brother and my sibling is living in that city. Is like, okay, something is aligning for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. So I was just jumping for joy. And got so excited. I got to experience that moment with my granny and my family and, the people that love me. And it was just an amazing moment in my life.
Now, you didn't play professionally for a long period of time. Why didn't you want to choose to pursue a professional career a long time? Or was there an injury? Or why didn't, because you're still young, but you chose to, pursue other options. Why didn't you want to pursue the professional career?
So I did it for a couple years, but for women, it's not, I get to play in the WNBA and that's it. If you play in the WNBA, even if you're one of the best players, you still have to go overseas to make the money that you would want to make playing the game. And so I'm still a homebody. I'm still, Louisville woman who didn't get to experience much. So going to Los Angeles was a culture shock. And then turning around going, a couple months later to Slovakia, and being alone, I I wasn't ready for it. And even the next year in Israel, it was just like, this ain't for me. I don't know what it is, but I'm not happy out here. I didn't have anybody out there with me, so I'm just like, it's gonna be my time to go. Basketball was just a portion of me, and now I get to explore everything else that I want to do or what I want to achieve or get engaged in. And so I was like, this is my time. I've done enough with basketball. I think I'm gonna be okay. So
I want to say that I think I was out in Israel around the time because I remember you had sent me a message about how it was out there, but I don't think we got a chance to link up. But I'm not sure. But I want to say that I think I was in Israel about the
yeah,
time that you came out there for like maybe a few months.
yeah, you was out there. So I played that season in Israel. So I left in like around my birthday in March. But you was out there. We was at like a handball game. I see you in passing. I think you was with someone, and I was just like, okay, hey Larry, we exchanged numbers. He's like, if you ever need me, hit me. And I was just like, cool. And I never I never needed you. So never, but we definitely said seen each other in passing. It was a cool moment to just realize that a guy that was playing with my brother is still playing, and I get to see him and still be in kind of the same arena now. So it was cool. It was a good moment.
Right. And so now in the WNBA, you see the game really flourishing. You see women have negotiated, with the CPA that they've been able to make more money now. Their contracts are more worthy, trying to get women to stay home rather than just skipping over the WNBA and pursuing overseas money, like you said. What are your thoughts on that? And also, the WNBA, the women of the WNBA have been protesting and been bringing awareness to social injustice for a long time, long before it, the George Floyd movement and the prominence and the attention that it's got now. WNBA women have been on that awareness for a long time. So how does that make you feel to see that, you know, the WNBA flourishing with more money for women, and also the WNBA women get, the attention that they deserve for bringing this attention to these injustices, for a longer period of time?
I think that it was needed. Um, the league is composed of a lot of black women, and as we know, black women are leading almost everything. Everything as far as knowing who to vote for, which candidate, our movements are putting ourselves on the front line to be the change that we ultimately want to see. And so it shouldn't be surprising. It was not surprising to me as a black woman to know that there are women that are out there that are have to deal with the color of their skin. They have to deal with the fact that they're a woman and their gender, but and also have to deal with the pay gap and things like that, but still putting themselves out there to hope for changes and to see the next generation not have to go through the same things that they've been through. So I applaud them. I applaud them from stepping up. I applaud them from pushing boundaries. I applaud them for using their platforms whenever they can to make a change, whether it's minuscule or is ginormous. And so the WNBA is going to be leading in every way that they can, and I'm hoping that all these other leagues are able to follow their lead in a way in which is really needed, and really support them the way in which is needed, because they're worth it, and your daughters and your family and everyone else is worth it as well. So it's good to see, and I'm thankful that I was able to be a part of that, corporation, even for a brief moment. I'm thankful for that.
Now, I'm a big fan of women's basketball. I love it because I think the women's game is just played the right way. I think women are highly skilled. Obviously, women, a lot of women don't have the athleticism that's, on the men's side, but from a skill standpoint, I just love the display of skill in the women's game. Now, I want to ask you this. Now, if you take away athleticism from the men
Mhm.
and just rely solely on skill, are women more skilled than the men at the game of basketball at the highest level? Purely from a skill standpoint, no
I would
athleticism, just on a skill basis.
I would say with the best women, yes. And I say that because I played. The reason why I was so good at basketball because I played against guys But when you're not as athletically superior, or you're not as strong, or you're not going to be as quick, you're going to have to think the game. You got to think the game through a lot more. And so some of the best players, you do have your best players that have to be athletically gifted to order to take it to the next step. You have to be, but also to be able to think the game. I think that's the lost art. So people like LeBron are going, he can flourish for another 10 to 15 years because he don't have to use his athleticism as he gets older. You see his jump shot improving. He's taking the game. He knew he had to improve that in order to go. He can't jump the way he was at 20 as he was at 30. So I think that we definitely do. I know for a fact that I can beat a lot of the guys that I play with if I still have my old athleticism. But, I definitely know with skill and knowing how to maneuver and play, yes, as far as athleticism, be able to get the rebounds, I'll be able to be quick enough to get that ball, to get possession, something like that. That's really the thing that's holds us back. I'll never forget, I was at UK, and of course, the UK is the powerhouse for a lot of young men, going into the NBA and pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've seen a lot of amazing young guys come through the program. And I was in our gym, and I seen DeMarcus Cousins in there my freshman year. He was standing up under the rim, and he just stuck his hands up, and his hands was like halfway up the net. Like he was already taking the ball. I was just like, you know how hard it is to us to get up there to even try to do it, and you just literally right there because you're 7 foot and you're long, and it's just like, this is so not fair. But I'm glad that I had to take this journey because it makes you smarter. I don't have to rely on something physical, because the physical is not always going to be there. So
Right, right. Who's
yeah.
the best? Who's the best player in the WNBA now? Right now.
Man, it's so many amazing players. If she was still playing, I would definitely say Maya
My
Moore.
boy.
Man, she was nice, but we know what Maya Moore is doing, and I'm thankful for her and her sacrifice. Just
Right.
another woman leading the way. But I really, really I still like Christy Tolliver's game. Christy Tolliver was my teammate in LA, but now
OG.
she got a ring in LA, and she got one in DC, and so she can go to different places and still have a presence. Elena Deladon, who's her teammates, might be the best skilled and overall player in my opinion, but Christy, you can just put her in anywhere, and she gonna make it work. She can get you 20 any night. So I really like Christy's game.
Yeah, she
I'm
is
here for
nice.
the small people.
So once you finish playing, now you're the head coach at your alma mater back at Iroquois High School. What's the main thing that you take away from your experience of playing that you want to pour into your kids?
So I was the head coach at Iroquois for a season. I was assistant coach for one season before then. It was tough because I wasn't coaching, little me's or little my sisters or little my old teammates. We're back to what Iroquois kind of was before we was there, in a sense. And so you don't have a lot of talent. You don't really have a lot of hope with the kids that's coming there. And so the biggest thing for me, I learned a lot of patience. I learned a lot of discipline and knowing the routine. And me knowing that, I knew that it wasn't right for me at that time in my life to continue to pursue that and want to try to, make the program a powerhouse, kind of got like when I was there, because I didn't have enough growth in my journey to take on that task when I was about 24, 25. So
Right.
I was like, okay, I see it, I know its purpose, but not for 24-year-old me, maybe
Right.
34-year-old me. So yeah, it was a good experience. I love my kids. I love that time that I had with them, a lot of jokes and a lot of good moments, but hopefully they get to see the me that they need when that time comes.
Right. Right. Cool. Now, Adia, now we've reached the part of the podcast we call the Burrow Proof segment of rapid fire questions. We're gonna shoot you some quick questions. Give us your first thought. Give us your first answer. Don't give it a lot of thought. We're gonna roll with it.
Okay.
Cool. First question: are you a trash talker or are you a silent assassin?
Silent assassin. You already
Silent
know.
assassin. Yeah. Okay. Ice cream sundae or milkshake?
Milkshake.
Okay. Best out of 10 from the 3-point line. Who wins? You, your brother, or Asia?
Is it around the arc or is it stationary?
Anywhere.
I'm going me. I'm going
Go
me.
go with you. All right, I'm gonna make sure to tell Johnny about that too. something people don't know about audio.
Uh, shoot. I know most. I'm a Pisces. I like to I like to ride bikes, and I want more people to start riding bikes because a lot of us don't like to run. But if you get on that bike, you can get some cardio in, and just get active some way. So I like to ride bikes.
Nice. Who's the best musical artist today?
I'm still alive. I'm going Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott. I'm a big
But
fan
as
of
far as
Missy Elliott.
current artists, I would have to go with Smino.
Who?
Smino, Smino from St. Louis.
Smino. I'm gonna have to look
Yep,
that one up. I don't know Smino.
he's amazing.
All right. All right.
Tune in, Larry. Tune in.
All right. I'm definitely gonna have to tune in. Toughest person you ever had to guard?
Cappy Pondexter, without a question. Cappy Pondexter, when I was in the WNBA, she made me feel like I was the rookie that I was when I was playing against her. I couldn't do nothing with her. She was my size. She was smaller than me and just like posted me up, and I just felt bad. I was like, damn, that's how you know you're able to just you're doing a lot without even have to do much. And so yeah, Cappy Pondexter is definitely it.
Yeah, she's tough. She's a hooper. She's a hooper. Late part of the game, last seconds, you need a bucket. What's your go-to move?
Mm, there is none. It's depending on how the defense is playing me.
Okay, okay. But if
And
you,
it also
what's your strongest move?
Ah, just a simple crossover and head to the rack. If we're down by two, I'm trying to get to the rack and try to get fouled. If not, and then give my teammates a chance to offensive rebound.
Cool, but you ain't passing though.
Not.
If Adia Mathis was in the dictionary, what would the definition be?
Oh man, the coolest. The coolest to do it. The coolest to do it. A Renaissance woman.
Say no more. It's the question that we call franchise, sign, and wave. You got to franchise a lady that's you're going to build your franchise tomorrow. You got to sign a lady that you're going to keep on your team, and you got to wave somebody that you can't keep. All right. So we're going Breonna Stewart, Elena Deladon, Candace Parker. Who you franchising? Who you signing? And who you waving?
Well, since it's 2020 and CP has been in the league for a while, and I know about them knees, I will probably have to waive CP. Now, if it was CP of 5 to 10 years ago, she's not getting it, but I would have to waive Candace, although that's tough because Brianna and Lane is doing the thing. I would go with Breonna Stewart, franchise. I would go with Deladon to sign, and I would go with Candace to waive. Because Breonna Stewart, I faced her as well when she was at UConn, and I seen it. I also faced Deladon same year in the tournament, and Breonna, I don't know, them hands, her length to get up at it just is different, but
Tough,
Deladon definitely the mental, yeah.
tough, tough. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had advice for young ladies who wanted to achieve greatness and wanted to play at the highest level, I just wanted to achieve the success that Adia Mathis did, what would your advice be?
My advice would be you got to know what you're doing it for. And in order to make it successful and to make it fruitful, at the end of the day, it has to be done for you. You can't do it for anybody else because when those down moments come, you can't depend on anyone else to get you there. You're going to have to see yourself through a lot of things. And so I definitely would say to continue to work, to know there is no shortcuts. I've taken a few and it didn't land me in good places. So no, there is no shortcuts. You got to go through the journey to see it's beauty at the end, and there's no way around it. So those two things is definitely something I would like for them to know.
Nice. Audia Mathis, appreciate you taking time out of your day. It's a pleasure to talk to you, legend. One of the best to ever lace them up. Appreciate you taking the time to come through and bless us on the Players Perspective podcast.
Thank you so much to you, Larry, for having this platform to allow me to share it with you. You're a legend in your own right, and I can't wait to this as a segment on ESPN itself. So,
For sure, for sure. Also, tell the people about your podcast as well. You have a podcast that you do. Let the people know about that.
It's called the Auntie's Collection. The Auntie's Collection. COOLBCTION. Currently, right now, it is on pause because of COVID, and a lot of my interactions are face to face. I don't want to change that because it's the foundation of what I'm doing. So once we ever get past COVID, maybe we can get more interviews and things going. But it's just a way to celebrate women and their history and their future, and celebrate us because there's not a lot of platforms to celebrate in a lot of women in sports. So I wanted to create that platform to give us a voice and to keep this thing going. So.
Definitely check that out, man. Well, best of luck with everything going forward. And like I said, appreciate you taking time to come through and talk to us.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
All right, talk to you later.
Talk to you.